Hey there, UniWarriors. It's Lodeous. Here, I'm going to cover the second match of the MooseKNUCKLE Tournament. This is going to be Bulldog60 as khraleans versus Lodeous as Titans, as you can see. I just want to briefly talk about the borfly for a second, because I don't feel like I covered it enough in the last video. I talked about, I thought it was weak, but I didn't really go into why and how to actually use it. So it can't move an attack of the same turn, unlike the Bopper and the Guardian. So you really have to set it up into position, and it makes it a lot more of a defensive unit, whereas the Bopper and the Guardian can go on the offensive if you protect them well. It has a range of 2 to 3, which means it's vulnerable to attacks from melee units like speeders and marauders, which are really fast and can just go in and hit it and leave. And then, so they're mainly for holding positions. I've heard of a tactic. I haven't used this myself, but I think it would put a lot of pressure. To put it 3 away from your enemy base and guard it, and then whatever they build on the base, you can take down really fast. So I haven't seen that in use, but I think it is a good tactic. So the other tank busters are also good for holding positions, just in general. A lot of these, with the tank buster unit class, it's really the threat of retaliation against an attack is almost just as good as the retaliation itself. And to quote Solinsky, power is not only what you have, but what your enemies think you have. And this is very true with positioning. You want to threaten their units and say, if you attack me, you're going to lose all this stuff because you'll be in range, and that'll keep them away. So that's really the overall tactic with using these new units. We've already talked about this map a little bit. I don't think there's anything new I want to mention. So without further ado, I will put on some music and let's get this match started. Oh, Bulldog60 is going first, using his underlings to cap, and he's going to build more underlings. Lodeous is capping, that's me, and build speeder in the center and a mecha in the back. These underlings are pushing forward onto the city, and more underlings. Yep. Underlings are very good on this map, just their mobility and these defensive terrain. Out comes my assimilator. Underlings are pushing forward, getting ready to take some more cities, staying on that good forest tile so they can't get knocked off. Speeder comes out a little bit more. Mecha finally makes it on the city. This is what I'm talking about, khralean mobility. They get on the cities a lot faster, so that's a big advantage early on. And that underling is not in range of the assimilator because the assimilators have low. Out comes Garuda. Garudas are pretty good for this map because most of the Titan units are speeders, so it's a good response to speeders. Although you gotta watch out for mechas and eclipses. More speeders coming up on the board. The speeders are good at taking down that underling health. Here the Garuda's gonna block that underling so he can stay on the city. We saw that tactic on the other match. Alright, speeder on med tile, very good use of a speeder. And that speeder's gonna take down the underling from the city. I'm gonna turn on the credit kill count. So far only one underling has died. The assimilator's retreating a little bit. So the khraleans are still at a city holding advantage. We'll see how much the Titans can push back, but because they have more cities, they have a material advantage right now. Out comes a borfly, double borflies. So these borflies are gonna limit where the Titan can place their speeders now, because you do not want to get hit by a borfly. This mecha's in range of the borfly. We'll see how much damage it will do. Borflies are best against ground heavy. Borflies are staying back. Just guarding, but the Titan's gonna have a hard time making an approach with these borflies here. And Speeder's attacking that underling. Very good use of gang up. Finish that underling off. Speeder on the med tower. Very good because he can damage and then just get healed back up. And we're starting to see some buried underlings on the right side. And there's an eclipse out. This is a response to the Gerda. And a 4-shot on that mecha with the borfly. So yeah, these borflies, if you look at their range, 1, 2, 3 tiles, sorry, is all this line. If the Titan leaves any units in this line, they'll get immediately attacked by the borflies. So it's a good defensive line. Although now they're still holding the same amount of cities and the credit count is very even. Garuda's retreating away from that eclipse. Now, there's about 3 buried underlings, but buried underlings are only really effective en masse. I'm going to make a video specific about buried underlings, but one of the things is, right now these buried underlings aren't much of a threat. They aren't completely surrounding the units, and they're mainly good at taking out walkers. When you don't have walkers as a Titan, buried underlings are way less of a threat. Combined with the fact that there's 2 assimilators, if these underlings resurface next to an assimilator, they're going to get converted. So they have to do enough damage that it'll be worth getting converted or take out the assimilators. Which is another deterrent. Oh, there's a lot more buried underlings now. Titan's going to keep chipping away. Another thing about buried underlings is it limits your material advantage on the board. So all these buried underlings, they can't contribute to the combat immediately unless they uncover. More speeders. The Titan's got a line of speeders and an eclipse. Out comes a pincer. So this pincer looks like it's a response to this eclipse and some of the speeders out here. This pincer's gonna force the Titan line back because they cannot afford to get hit by a pincer. And it's getting dangerous amounts of buried underlings, although if they resurface, they're gonna get that assimilator over there or this assimilator over here. Mecha gets on the city. Probably he'll be taken off by the... Oh, actually, no. If they resurface this buried underling, this assimilator will come after it. So he's got to come after it with these guys. So, I just want to take a look. Right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buried underlings. 600 credits that are completely underground. So this leaves the rest of its formation kind of less material out there that can readily attack. But the underlings are forcing the Titan to position very well. Eclipse has to retreat away from the pincer. Out comes the Guardian as a response to the pincer. Now the Titans have their new units out. So we'll see how the Guardian has a lot more utility than a borfly, but it also costs almost double of a borfly. Alright. That poor little mecha on the city is gonna go down. Yep. Notice how he's resurfacing his least health one. He wants the full health ones to be able to threaten the Titan formation. So Titans have lost a lot of ground with this pincer coming out because they were encroaching. Alright, I just want to point this out. Now having a speeder near a pincer is very bad, but if the pincer wants to attack the speeder, it can heal every turn, and it has to step on either a city, which is a neg-3 defense, or a city, which is neg-3 offense, neg-3 defense, or a force, which is neg-3 defense. So it's not a good option to attack the speeder. So this terrain allows the speeder to be in a position where it otherwise normally couldn't be that close to the pincer. And if this underling comes up, it's gonna get assimilated. Borflies pushing up. So now this borfly's got pressure. 1, 2, 3 isn't enough to hit that yet. That speeder yet. The borflies are coming up in both areas. The khraleans really pushing the advantage, but the Titans killed 400 more credits. Taking some heal on those buried underlings. Off goes a UV blast. So usually as Titans, you want to save UV blasts for when you're going to do a big attack. So it's a good indication if you see a UV blast in a replay, then you're going to see them going all out. So that UV blast, now the Guardian has hit the pincer in the Eclipse and the Mecha, and the speeder might finish it off. No, it doesn't, but this speeder will. Oh, he's just lost the pincer to that Guardian. He got too close. And the speeder moves up so close to the borfly that the borfly can't actually hit it. So the borfly has a range of 2 to 3, but it's completely useless in this 1 range area. And now the big credit lead for Titans. There's another pincer on this side. And that UV blast gets rid of that underling. This guy teleports, probably to stop, to make it so that only one thing can hit the speeder and it survives. Yeah, it's distracting that pincer away from hitting the speeder. Ooh, borfly 6-shot on the speeder. So that's good use of a borfly right there. He got too close and now he's gonna pay for it. And taking some heals. Now, he's healing this thing for +9. I wouldn't normally heal a unit unless it can't do anything else productive. Like this unit could kind of come out and attack, and maybe that's what he's going to do with these other units. But generally better to attack than to heal. Now this double Guardian attack kills another pincer down. These Guardians are totally wiping away this pincer. And now this borfly is exposed. Speeders are sniping it. So borflies are good at a distance, but it's being weakened now. And then Titans are up more than 1,000 credits. Eclipse on the Woodlands. It's a risky position. It's good if you can make a strong attack like that Eclipse did, and he wanted to kill as many units as possible, but if something can hit that Eclipse, then it's going to lose a lot of health. And these retreated speeders going up to this Insulator to heal fast. And borfly attacks the Mecha on the city. Borflies are best at taking down ground heavy. They really don't do that much damage to ground light, but it's still a good attack. They're having to move away from these Guardians. And the Guardians are in the line behind, so they haven't had a chance to hit the Guardians at all, which is a key to using the Guardians. You can't let them get hit. These buried underlings are moving around, forcing positioning. Moves on to a city to finish it. I like doing that if you can. Sometimes the city is too much damage to your offense to be able to finish off, but by placing a unit on the city, you get that unit on the city and you finish off an attack. And then it becomes a target, or it gives you credits. Similar is moving on to that city. You're covering up that buried underling. The speeders are coming out against these underlings. This is pretty bad, because this Insulator can reach all the way over here, so he's going to have to retreat the underling line even further. And that is GG. So, as you can see, this game was a lot further along for Titans than khraleans at the end. Bulldogs surrendered both matches. Let's see, is there any... Let's just go back to the 2 pincer kills. Okay. So here, pincer moves up. This is the khraleans are advancing. They're behind in the credits killed by 400, but they've had extra city income, so the credit count's roughly even. These Pinzers are really feeling brave. Go up. These borflies are extending their positioning, but notice how this Pinzer's in range of this Guardian, and the Guardian can reach it on a forest. And this UV is really strong. It weakens it by 1, and sometimes 1 HP makes all the difference in an attack. So he just gets withered down, and he's gone. And that's the start of the Titans kind of really owning this matchup. And this Guardian was really key to that, as well as the Speeder gang up. So it took a lot of combining factors. Then the second Pinzer gets too close. There's multiple Guardians. Let's see when they come after it. So yeah, so they're so far away, but you have to remember that how far can the Guardians move? And this one moves all the way onto this forest, hits it. This forest just supplies an attack bonus, and then he's just finished. So this match was really determined by the Pinzers getting too close to the Guardians, and the Guardians just being able to totally decimate the forces. And that's it. Thanks for watching this match. I hope to cover the MooseKNUCKLE Tournament semifinals and finals when it gets closer on. And I hope you guys learned more about this new units. Please leave any comments that you want about the new units. Let me know how you use them.